Welcome to the Kitchen Table Podcast, where real conversations happen. I'm your host, Greg Wolfe. Excited to go through this. This is our first podcast. Today is podcast number one. Well, it's podcast number one, but is it really? Today I have my wife, Chelsey, on the podcast with me. Excited to have you on the podcast. Welcome.
Thanks.
We are going to dive in all things life. Getting to know us is what we wanted to talk about today. The point and the whole theme here that we're going to try to push through is to document our journey. We run a life and health insurance agency, and we are going to be sharing real life testimonies, real life stories of our journey through this, but also just share some fun, practical things. So if anything, if this is a moment that you get to take a break and laugh at our banter back and forth, or if it does provide some value to you throughout your day, and whether that's in business or sales, that works too. That would be the point and the purpose here. So let's dive right in. Looks like we're both ready to rock and roll. We got the Starbucks and the caffeine rolling.
Yes.
Tell me about this drink that you're drinking first off.
Yeah, this is the Starbucks green tea, and I'm about it. It's just the midday pick-me-up.
Nice. I am drinking the holiday special here. They didn't give me the sticker that I need, but it's the caramel apple macchiato. So if you haven't had it,
it's a girl drink.
Excuse me. You want to run that
And
down?
a real manly drink as well.
So tell me why. Do you think I always order these types of drinks?
Yeah, typically I drink the more manly drinks.
Just when it comes to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, put me out there. That's fine. All right. But caramel macchiato, caramel apple macchiato, because we're in the apple season. It's fall. It doesn't feel like fall. We've had some nice weather coming into the last couple of days. But let's give the people a little bit about us.
Okay.
Starting from the beginning, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, your family, and we'll start from there.
Yeah, so I'm from Michigan, a little small town called Schoolcraft, Michigan. It's just south of Kalamazoo. Most people probably haven't heard of Schoolcraft. I graduated with like 80 kids in my grade. It's like a farm town, just very low key.
All right, low key.
Yep.
Cool. So family, got one sister.
Yeah, I have a sister. She's cool.
All right, cool. Mom and dad.
Yep, I have them
Still
too.
living in Michigan.
Yeah, they're still in the same house. So the house that I grew up in was the house that my dad grew up in. His parents built the house, and then my parents bought it from them, and they're still living there.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Michigan, what was it like living in Michigan growing up?
Cold, snowy.
All the things you think of when you think of Michigan is just cold and snowy.
Yeah, I mean, summertime's great, but
Okay.
yeah.
Tell me about, like, growing up. Did you do any, like, sports? Obviously, I know, but tell everybody what you did there.
Yeah, I played some sports. So softball was my jam. I did, like, travel softball. Played all year.
What position did you play in softball?
Third base.
Third baseman.
Yeah, the
Ever get any-
hot corner.
Ooh. Okay, hot
That's what
corner.
it's called.
Got it. So you did travel softball.
Yeah.
After high school, did you pursue the sports, or what did you do?
I played softball for a year,
Okay.
and then I got in the nursing program. So I stopped playing softball, went in, started nursing, and then when I was 21, I graduated from the nursing program.
Nice.
Yeah.
So why make the switch from, like, pursuing that? Because it sounds like you did that for a while. Obviously, I know the story, but you did that for a little bit. But why make the switch and not continue with softball?
I was just ready to, like, have a career and be a grown-up. Being a grown-up sounded fun at the time.
Oh, wow. Until you got to be a grown-up.
Right.
And
Now
then
I go back and play softball, but at the time I was ready to have a career, got into the nursing program, so
Okay.
I still play, like, slow pitch, you know. Well, not, like, currently because I'm pregnant, but
Got it.
I'd like to.
Yeah, gotcha. So talk to us a little bit about, you have a daughter.
Yep.
When did you have her? How old were you?
20.
20. Okay. What's her name?
Her name's Natalee.
Okay.
So she was 3 months old when I started the nursing program. So yeah, that was fun. Doing
Yeah.
nursing and sleepless nights. Yeah, I did the whole thing. That was a real big blur of my life.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Can't imagine, actually. So, yeah, very cool. Me and you met when Natalee was 3,
Yep.
almost 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to be a part of the 4th birthday party. So been around for a little bit now. Natalee's 9.
Yeah.
So,
Sort of crazy.
yeah, right? I think so.
Yeah.
Got a pretty cool story. I tell some people when I do training our story all the time about how we met.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty romantic story.
I think so.
Bumble, shout out to Bumble.
Shout out Bumble. Yeah, online dating. I mean, it's the way.
It's the way, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, where else are you gonna meet someone? The gas station, the bar,
It's just,
a restaurant, like
it's hard.
yeah.
It's hard out there. I remember.
Yeah,
It's like a lot.
It's tough.
It's not. I'm glad we got out of that pretty
Pretty quick.
good.
Yep.
Yeah. I definitely. Well, the other day, what were we? We were at a wedding, and what was the comment that the girl said?
Oh yeah, she said, "How does it feel to married up?"
No, but she didn't say it like that.
That's how she said it.
No, it wasn't just like marry up. I think she was like, you outkicked your coverage or something.
Did you just make that up?
No, like you outkicked the coverage. You never heard of that before?
No, I've never heard of that.
Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
No.
You know the game football?
Yeah.
Okay, so like when you have like a coverage and then like you have somebody like waiting for the ball, they're like sitting there and then like the ball goes way over their head because they like outkick it. That's what that means. Like I outkick, like
Yeah. Irrelevant.
You don't
babe.
think? No, but that's what I'm saying. Like I think that's what she said.
No, she did not say that.
She just said that.
Because I wouldn't have understood that analogy.
I heard her say that, but in any event, I definitely believe that I outkicked the coverage when I found you.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, so we met on Bumble. Kind of a crazy story for sure. Talked for a little while, didn't talk for a little while, then started talking again.
Then 6 months later, you asked me to marry you, and
Yeah.
here we are.
I knew that instantly I needed to put a ring on it because you're going to figure out real quick who I was. So then, like, you're already in. So that was my plan, and it worked. So, and I've locked you up from there. So, yeah, got married. Let's back up before we got married. Dated, and then I was in car sales. So let me back up even to a little bit of that way they can get to know both of us. So I'll try not to. I know you always tell me I say
Babe, your
way long
story,
stories.
you're going to need like a full week of podcast for your growing up story.
This is true, but I don't have to give like the full. I can give like bits
Real
and pieces.
brief. Okay.
Real brief. So grew up in Cherville, Indiana. Was born actually in Munster, Indiana. Grew up in Cherville. Went to school in Cherville, and for those of you who don't know, that's Northwest Indiana, the region. Shout out.
Baby, you're making this quick, remember?
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah, so I grew up there. Grew up in a Christian home. Went to a Christian school growing up. There's a lot to unpack with all of that. Went to high school, middle school, all that in the same Christian school. Immediately after that, graduated and went into the workforce right away. Fast forward a couple years go by, and then get into sales, get into car sales, and that's where we kind of pick up the story where me and you are at. And see, that's a very brief.
Yeah, that was brief.
Are you blown away right now that I could like?
Yeah. You
do
missed
that?
like all the details.
Well, I mean, that's what you want. I mean, if like you said, it could take
Yeah.
some time. We'll dive in.
We'll dive in.
Well, that's
the
where
people will want to know about
that's
that.
the real conversations that
Yeah.
will happen. But today's point is just to get to know us, who we
Yeah.
are, that sort of thing. So yeah, and then like what we're doing now. That was what I was thinking. So yeah, in car sales here in the South Bend, Mishawaka area.
Were you like good at car sales? Were you like a big deal?
I think I was pretty good at car sales.
You were pretty good.
Oh, thanks.
I know the answer.
Oh, I think I was good. I wasn't.
You were.
I think I just cared, and I worked hard to, try to be the top guy. But sold cars here, then moved into finance, did finance and sales management a little bit at the car lot. And then you had the crazy idea that, let's go back even. We keep saying, well, let's go back so people are catching the full story. We started dating, got engaged. What was it? 2 or 3 months later is when they said shut the world down because COVID.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. We did what everybody did during COVID.
We made a baby.
Wore masks is what I was going to say. But
we did that too.
Yeah. We did both. Had a baby because they had nothing else to do. And she's awesome. Her name's Naya.
She's 3.
She's 3, almost 4.
Almost 4, yeah.
She'll tell you about it, which makes her closer to 5.
Yeah.
Is what she thinks.
Yeah, she's 5.
And then I had a daughter previous. Her name's Karlie. So we've got Karlie, Natalee, and Naya. So we have, through COVID, you're still working at the hospital being a nurse. I'm working at the car dealership doing the car thing. We got the kids. We're trying to do this whole family thing. We buy a house, first house. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Built a house.
We decided to have a baby, build a house, and get married in the same year.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
2020.
Yeah.
That was wild.
That was a crazy year.
Hormones from the baby. Hormones from getting married.
Yeah.
And then tack on let's build a house and pick out the flooring.
Let's build a house. Building a house, yeah, that was fun.
We got to tell the story real quick, and we'll get through this. Hopefully, you're still listening at this point. I mean, this is podcast 1, so we'll see. But tell the story of the build of the countertops. Countertops is a great story. You want me to share? You want me to tell the story?
No, I'll tell the story.
Okay.
And then you can pick up.
I can elaborate.
So yeah, we were picking out finishes for this house when I was extremely pregnant. And so very hormonal. You were working a bunch, so you weren't there to help me. And I'm the most indecisive person ever.
Yeah.
I spend 10 minutes picking out toothpaste and I get the same one every week, but I still look at all of them. And so yeah, picking out countertops was a stressful time. So pretty much I told the builder hey, I like the countertops that were in the other house, just do those. And then he's like, well, you might want to go check out your slab. I was like, oh no, those were great. It's fine. Yeah, I like those.
Because we had viewed the house that we liked and we wanted those.
Yeah, so I told him just to do those. So then they put the countertops everywhere because I loved them. So I'm yep, everywhere, bathrooms, I don't care. Just put them everywhere.
Everywhere.
Shower, whatever. Just put them everywhere. So we got them, and then we went to look at the house. And the house, wasn't finished. There wasn't even lighting, nothing. We were just checking in. And I was like, oh, no, I hate the countertops. I did not like them.
Right.
So you could take over from there.
Yeah. So go check out the house. It's obviously still being construction's in full force, dusty, no lights in the house. And we go look at it, and she's like, yeah, babe, I don't like these countertops. And I'm like, okay. I don't know what, it's not like you could just take out. I mean, you can, but we're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars for countertops. She's like, well, I'm not going to buy a house that I don't like the countertops. And I'm like, okay.
I was very hormonal.
Okay. You let us know. We got it. So she's like, you need to tell Pete and let him know. That's the builder, yep. That we are not going to, no, he needs to take them out. Those are not the same countertops. So I was like, all right, happy wife, happy life. Let's go. We got to rock it. Here we go. Let's see what happens. So I messaged Pete, very nice message, and say, hey, we were able to stop by the house. Everything is looking awesome, except Chelsey doesn't like the countertops. I want you to take them all out. And I waited, the blue bubbles, the bubble you get when you text. Yeah. It went up and then it went away and then it went up. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is going to be good. So then I get a phone call from Pete. And he's like, what? What do you mean what do you mean? She said that those are the same exact countertops that we have in the other place. And I'm like, Pete, I hear what you're saying. I get it and all this, but I don't know what to tell you, bro. She doesn't want them. She doesn't like them. They're really, they're just not nice. She doesn't like them. And he was like, he flipped out. Like, he literally was like, all right, cool. I'll sell the house to somebody else if she doesn't like the countertops. I'm not taking the countertops out. And then I'm just trying to calm him down, trying to sell him, like, Pete, don't do it. Like, Pete, what do we got to do? Like, we can figure this out. There's a solution.
Right. We'll pay for new countertops.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Pete. And Pete was cool. He called me back later after he hung up on me. And I was like, we might have just lost the house we were building for 4 months. But calls back and he's like, hey, man, super sorry. I apologize for doing that. I got a lot going on. I'm just really frustrated right now. I'm like, Pete, it's all good. He said, why don't we do this? Why don't we go over there? I got lights in now. I got them all cleaned off. Why don't you check them out? Before we rip them out, I'll do that for you. Before we totally rip them out, let's look at them one more time, make sure you like them. And Chelsea said, and Chelsea literally told me, she said, babe, I don't care. I can go look at them again, but I don't like them. So we go look at them, and you're like, oh yeah, they're good.
They looked great. They were just like dirty, and the lighting was bad.
All that for nothing, though.
Then after that, I was like, I probably shouldn't look at the house till it's done.
Right.
Yeah.
And we won't talk about other things.
Yeah.
But anyways, we built a house.
During COVID. Yeah.
More of the story.
Carry on.
The house got built. Pete did sell us the house. Thank you, Pete.
We're still friends. We're
still friends.
Yep.
He won't take us up on another build, but that's fine. At least while you're pregnant.
Right. Yeah.
He was like, no. Straight up. No. But yeah, built a house, had a baby, and then living life. Like, life is good. Working a lot, though. I think we did.
Life was good, but I got sick of you, like, being gone all the time.
Yeah.
Like, your work schedule was crazy.
Yeah. So I worked a ton, worked retail hours in car sales, but also, like,
Which car sales hours is, like, 24/7 pretty much.
Yeah, because it's, like, not just, it doesn't just stop when you, like, at home, because you have clients and different things like that as far as on the sales side. Then I moved into finance, and finance was completely different. Finance was like, hey, we called it the backstop of the dealership, where everything, like, starts, stops, in between is right there. Like, it happens there.
Yeah.
And so we were the first ones in, last ones to leave, working every single Saturday.
Yeah.
So I get home. I think we've shared this story a couple different times, but it needs to be told on this first one. I get home from a long day's worth of work, and you're sitting there, and you're like, happy. And I'm like, you are never happy when I get home at 10 o'clock. But you're, like, excited, and I'm like, this is, okay, cool. What's up? And you're like, I've got it figured out. I know what we're going to do. And I'm like, well, what's that?
Yeah, I had a great idea.
And then you're like, I was talking to your sister, and I think you need to start selling life insurance.
Yeah.
And I was like, babe, I just got home from a 15, 16 hour day. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, I'm not going to go sell life insurance. So you're like, yeah, there's this girl, her name's Mindy, and, like, she makes over like $200,000 a year. And
I didn't know what she made, but
that's what you said.
Yeah.
And so, like,
selling it.
Yeah. And you're like, yeah, she works part-time.
Yeah.
3 days a week. And I was like, gave you the look, like, okay, come on. And I was like, you're like, well, why don't we just, like, get on a phone call? So we jump on a phone call. You can take it from there. How'd that phone call go?
Yeah, so really, his sister was, like, friends with this girl who was selling life insurance, so she had been following her. So I didn't know what she made or anything, but I knew that she was doing very well and working part-time and had a flexible schedule. And you're very humble, but you were, like, the best salesperson ever.
Thanks.
So I knew that, like, if someone else can, like, have a good living selling life insurance, you could do that too and work from home. Well, that's what I was thinking. But, so we jumped on this call to talk to her, and
it was like that night.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying any attention because I was just sort of, like, handing the baton to him. I was like, this is his thing.
And I wasn't paying any attention. I was just like, what are we doing here?
You were paying attention because you were kind of curious.
I was, but not. I was like, okay, cool. Like, that sounds great, but, like, I'm not. Like, I'm the one who makes all the money. You were working 1 day a week at that point.
Yeah.
Just kind of, like, just to get out of the house because we had the new baby and you were taking care of the kids. So, like, at the end of the day, I was, like, halfway paying attention.
Yeah. So then we get off the call and he was like, well, babe, you should do this. Why don't you do this and see if it works and see how it is? And then if so, like, we'll talk about it.
Light bulb moment. Great idea.
I thought he was crazy because I have like zero sales experience. Like, I've been staying at home with the kids talking to like toddlers for the last few years. So yeah, I thought he was absolutely crazy. But I also am like very competitive and I was like, all right, I'll show him what's up. Like,
yeah.
So I'll let him see that this works.
For context, we are now 2022? Yeah.
Yeah.
2022.
This will be 2 years.
Post-COVID.
Yep.
Lived in the house for a couple of years now.
Yep.
And 2022. And this is like February, May-ish. I'm like banging into things. Sorry.
Easy.
Gosh. And you say, yeah, why don't I try it?
Yeah.
So
I was like, all right.
I didn't think anything of it really. So you actually are starting to study for this exam.
Yeah.
Pre-licensing thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm checking in, like, hey, how's it going? You're like, yeah, I'm studying for it. And you take a little bit of time, if we're being honest.
So it was summertime, which is my favorite time of year. And summertime's like nothing. We live in Indiana, so it's mostly winter here. So I didn't want to work in the summer. I wanted to like just sort of take it easy. And then September comes around or August, kids start school, and then yeah, I started doing it.
Yeah. So
and my goal was just to make more than you did in a week.
Yeah.
From home, part-time. That was my goal. Because I was like, if I can make more than he does in a week, like, he'll see that he could obviously do this.
Yeah. And so that was October of 2022-ish is like when you started officially.
Yeah.
When you started, and when we say started, that means she started selling life insurance.
Yep.
You're an independent broker.
Right.
And you sell, you were going in like person.
Yeah.
Like, driving to people's houses, setting up appointments with them, and then selling them insurance. Yeah, and I would say throughout that time, it was definitely an adjustment period for you too, because you had like the kids that like you had just been with the kids the entire time, and having to put kids in daycare, that was like new.
Yeah, that was
we hadn't done that before.
Yeah.
So putting kids in daycare, and then also just getting to a schedule that you're working a little bit more than what you had been.
Yeah.
Because you're working only 1 day a week, and you increased it to 2 days a week. So like that was an adjustment. You went up 50%. So
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was probably like no, it was a struggle at first. Obviously, it was a huge like change in pace. But my whole thought was so at this point I was like bought in as far as I was watching everyone who was doing it. I was jumping on the trainings because I knew that if I was going to prove to you that you could do it. My whole plan was just to like prove to you that you could do it, and then you could be super successful, and I'd go back to like...
What's that saying? Like, got him.
Yeah, right?
Got him.
I was trying to get you. So I could go back and be with the kids. But yeah, so I seen everyone being super successful. So I was like, okay, if these people can do it, like I can figure it out.
Sure.
So that was my goal, was just to copy and paste what they were doing, figure it out so you could do it.
So yeah, so now we fast forward to February of 2023, and
I was making some money.
You were making some money. Money was hitting the account, and I was noticing that deposits were looking very close to the same deposits that I was making. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, well, the company that we were working with had a huge like convention that you wanted to go to, and I was like, well, let's check it out. I mean, let's get out, maybe like even take a vacation. I was more looking at it as a vacation type of thing, get away from the kids for a little bit. We're you've mentioned it several times, a lot in Indiana, so we've got a lot of weather and
the convention was in Florida, Miami.
Yeah, in February. So like, yeah, I'm in, sign me up. So we went, and I remember the first day I was like, okay, cool. I've been to like business, trainings and things like that. So I was ready, I'm taking notes, and, I'll pay attention. See if I can get something out of this. He was
totally taking notes. I was sort of just kicking back watching him. But
yeah,
you were like
I was
very
watching
much
everything.
paying attention.
Yeah. So I checked it all out, started asking all the questions, started getting really intrigued. Once I got to like the root of like, oh, like this isn't complicated. Anybody can really do this. And like, it doesn't take, like, it's not that much. Like, it's like people come in, they get their license, and we have people that are asking us for our help, and we help them. Like, it's not super deep. So that to me, I was like, okay, so it's not a super hard concept. And the types of money that people were throwing around that they were making, that was kind of unheard of. Like, especially with where we were at, it was like very like hush hush of like what this person made from what that person made, and nobody could know. It was like a big huge mystery about like, but everybody knew. You know what I mean? Like everybody knew like this guy's percentage, that guy's percentage, right? But this, everybody was like openly sharing like 3, 4, 5 million, like this big money. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, they're just openly sharing that they made it like $500,000 last year, and they've been in the business for 2-3 years. And I, at this point, been in the car industry for like 7+ years. So I'm thinking like, how does that, like 2 years in an industry like this, and you're already like way surpassing what I was doing. And so once I got like all the questions answered, it was just a matter of like, hey, when do we start?
You wanted to know that it wasn't just like selling life insurance. Like, you wanted something that you could grow, you could build a business, you could
100%
do more with it. So once you've seen that, you could do that here.
Yeah, I was looking for an opportunity that, you know, that I thought didn't exist. I was looking for something that I could have fun at, I could get time with my family, that I could make at least the same, if not more money, and that I could build something long term.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I was looking for. And once I knew that I could find that here, it was game over.
Yeah.
So that's, we won't get into all the nitty gritty of what we, you know, how that's evolved. I kind of wanted to lead up to this point, but that's a little bit about, you know, our story, who we are. We're just, we failed to mention we got one bun in the oven there too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, hey.
Forgot about that.
So gonna have a baby here coming up in the next month. Excited for that. So another girl.
4 girls.
4 girls. So Karlie, Natalee, Naya.
Don't say the new baby's name yet.
Okay.
Next podcast.
Stay tuned. Got him.
Got him.
But yeah, very excited about life. Very optimistic about, you know, what this has been for us and what it could be for others. And that's our goal. When we decided that we wanted to do this, our main focus is how can we help people and other people see that this exists, right? I think that it comes from a genuine place of like, how can people just don't know what they don't know. And so how do we share? How do we tell? And so this is something that has allowed us to open doors we never thought existed, but also like be able to be that light where people thought that they were going to be, you know, stuck one way and they were programmed one way forever.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point of us getting on here, us even talking about what we're doing, is let's just get real vulnerable. Let's get real at the table. This is where, like, back at grandma's house or back when you were a kid, when you were in trouble, for me it was, hey, we need to have a serious conversation. Let's go talk.
Yeah.
And so we have real conversations here. We get really real. We get really raw. That's what the kitchen table is all about. That's what it represents. Let's talk about real life situations, how you either overcame them, how you plan to overcome them, or let's just be real. Be real. There's a lot of fake that's out there in the world. And so our goal is to talk about real conversations right here at the kitchen table.
Yeah. So next podcast, we have to talk about, now we've been in the insurance business for 2 years.
2 years in. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
That's wild.
That is wild. I've been in for 2 years. You've been in for
about 1.5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you started. You had to jump on me. Got him.
Had to put that in there.
Yeah. All right. Well, that I think that wraps it up for us on this podcast. We appreciate you guys staying. If you've made it all the way through, hey, boom, that's a win. So hopefully this helps. Again, even if it's just to take your mind off of and listen to us banter back and forth. Hopefully you were entertained. Until next time, you guys, God bless.